Hi, my name is Dan, and welcome to my channel. This is Engelgeist. I am doing my monthly tarot for September 2019. This is for the sign of Cancer, for either Sun, Moon, Rising, or possibly Venus if love comes up in the reading. Then those with Venus in Cancer might want to cross-watch this video. I will note that in the video description later, but I just wanted to get this video up. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check out my pick-a-card videos, my charm videos, that sort of thing. Let me know what you guys would like to see. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, and all support is greatly appreciated. So let's get on to my Cancerian friends here and see what's going on in the cards for the month of September of 2019. Spirit, please give me cards and guidance for the Cancers that may be tuning in to this video. I feel like an assertiveness as I'm shuffling the cards. It's sort of interesting. I feel like Cancer needs to put their foot down in the month of September, like draw boundaries. It doesn't feel like anger per se, but it feels like assertiveness, like really defining one's boundaries in the month of September. So I'm not sure in what capacity or what, environment that would be for you, be it a relationship or work. But I feel like there's a bit of authority needing to take place for the Cancers. Like real, clear, sort of almost not demanding in a bad way, but being very authoritative about what it is you need or how it is you need it, because that's the way it's going to be, kind of feeling that I'm getting from the shuffle and the cards. It feels very putting one's foot down. So let's see what goes on in the cards. Sorry, that's my dog scratching her ear. Hi, Tallulah! Okay, so let's see what's going on. So this first card here is basically what I call like sort of the U card or the default setting. It sort of just tells me sort of where you guys are going to be at most of the month, where your focus is going to be at, kind of where you're going to be resonating at most of the time throughout the month. So you guys have the Ten of Crystals, which is delusion. To me, this is a mental card. First off, it's a crystals card, so it deals with the realm of the mind. To me, it feels like the Cancers have, or those of you with, heavy planets in Cancer have sort of been maybe thinking a little bit too much, thinking yourself outside of what it is that you need or want. There might be a little bit of frustration in this card. It feels like you've sort of separated yourself from your goals, maybe unintentionally, but in doing so, you have sort of thought your way away from what it is that you want. I mean, and the reason why I say this is, let me pull this card up to you. I see that there's this goal here, but it's set far away. And it feels to me like that's the delusion in this card. That's the deluded thinking, is sometimes we think we have to like work really hard for something or push really hard to get somewhere, to get what it is that we need. And really what we end up doing is we sort of put in all that effort and we end up setting our goal further away from us than it actually really has to be or is. And so to me, when I look at this card, I think it makes me wonder if you guys have been struggling in the recent past, or if you will be. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's a struggle. It's more like sort of trying to work towards something that you keep putting further and further away from you in the month of September. And maybe that is some of that drawing and that putting that foot down, that being authoritative, that like sort of demanding, like, no, I'm not going to allow this to happen kind of thing. That might be what this card is, and why you're sort of in this mind space, in this sort of resonating in this space of the mind of trying to reach your goal, but really focusing only on how hard you're struggling to get there versus what small wins or achievements you're experiencing on your way there. Does that make sense? Let's look at the other cards and see sort of what else is going on to get further clarification. This next card is what I call the foundation card. It sort of tells me a little bit about kind of why things are the way that they are. It's sort of the card from the past or the lead in, what opened the door for everything to come into play this month in September, the way that it is. And you guys have the Nine of Crystals, which is narrowness. It's interesting, again, another mind card. You have the 9 and the 10 of crystals. So it's like, I want to say my Cancer friends have been like way too much overthinking things recently. Some of this overthinking may lead into September. If you guys were finding yourself overthinking things or feeling a little bit stuck, only seeing sort of one way out or one path out, seeing things from a place like, oh, it needs to be this specific way for me to be able to achieve my goals, that's this narrow-minded thinking. It's not necessarily that it's bad, but it sort of pens you into a corner. It sort of draws you, it paints you into a corner where you can't get to what it is that you want because you've sort of created this space between you and your goal, be it a person, be it a job, be it financial abundance, be it, love, whatever it is that you're trying to create. You guys, it feels like the majority of you guys have been so sort of, I don't want to say obsessive, but you've been so sort of like particular about how you need to create it and where it's going to come from and when it's going to come, that you might have sort of put it further away from you than you really needed to. Okay, that's why, because when I look at these crystals, they feel suspended in the air, similar to the Hanged Man card in the Major Arcana. These feel sort of like suspended and hung there, like they're not really able to move. Now, there is a horizon here, and there is some blue breaks happening in between, so there is a possibility of breaking up this narrow-minded thought and sort of clearing it away. But will we do that in the month of September? I'm not sure. I'm going to look at the rest of the cards and see if there's hope of that changing. But this being where you're kind of operating at, there is a positive aspect to this, which says to me you are focused on the goal. You are sort of like not giving up on it. But the thing is how are you going about achieving it? How are you going about like pushing yourself forward? Now, the next card is your spirit or soul card. This card tells me a bit about where your spirit or soul is at and what it's got you working on or what it's focusing on to sort of help you through this time or this month. This is the 7 of Cups, which is fear. So this is, I'm not going to say, because this is in the soul space, this says to me that you guys, my watchers that are under the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, something's going on. Something, you're too much in your head, and I feel like your spirit wants you guys to realize that whatever it is that you have, whatever it is that you're holding on to too tightly, you need to stop like fearing that you're going to lose it. You need to stop fearing that you're going to get overtaken. You need to stop fearing that you can't get to your goal or that it's going to require so much work or that it's this narrow-minded thinking. It's this fear. Your spirit wants you to address this fear and see sort of the abundance and the richness that is around you, that you guys are stronger and more capable than maybe you're believing yourself to be right now. And that's part of this delusion too, is that you're not able to see in the month of September how much good is around you, how much possibility is around you, because you're too busy thinking about the smaller, minute details. You're too busy thinking about how far you are away from your goal. You're too busy thinking about how hard you've had to work or still have to work to achieve whatever it is you have to achieve. There's a There's a definite, when I look at these three cards, there's a definite sense of lack that you guys have been focused on, maybe in the previous month or two or three, that has led you to this point where I think that these three cards, it almost feels like I'm getting this picture of like a flood wall being broken through, like all of this water pouring through and overflowing, like breaking down the walls, because you're going to have to be able to move forward in a way to get yourself to where you want to be. Now, the next two cards are what I call the outside influence cards. These are sort of the cards that are not of us, but they're around us. They're influencing us during the month of September. They have an effect on us or an influence. They can sometimes be people, events, sometimes things more vague like belief systems or energies that are just influencing us. So, the first card that you guys have is the Strength card, which is beautiful. I love that the Strength card has shown up in the midst of these other three cards because it says to me that there is an outside influence of strength and help able to assist you if you allow it. There is this opportunity here to realize that whatever this goal is, it represents here as this egg. Your goal is protected. Your goal is held up by spirit. You may not feel that. You may be doubting that right now. That's why spirit wants you to deal with this fear and let it go. Transform that fear. Utilize some of this strength that's being given to you from the universe to carry through this dream. Let go of that narrow-minded thinking. Let go of that deluded thinking and start to bring that goal in. Start to realize that you're strong, that you have the strength. And if you don't think that you have it, allow the universe, your guardian angels, your spirit guides, your God, whoever it is you sort of rely upon to come in and work with you to bring in that extra needed strength that you need to get yourself through this period during the month of September. I think that there is the opportunity here for the manifestation of really good things, looking at both this egg and this light here, but where your mindset is at right now is is a little too focused on the lack. And so your spirit is trying to get you out of that, and the universe is trying to keep you strong through this so that you can find your way out. Now let's look at the other card. Ooh, wow. Wow. So your next outside influence is the death card. Now, death is not necessarily a literal death, but to me, death is all about change and rebirth. There is this opportunity to let go here, guys. I look at the delusion, narrowness, and fear. We need to let go of all of that. This death card, being an outside influence, says to me there is this opportunity for major, major transformative rebirth that could happen for the Cancers in the month of September if you guys allow yourself the opportunity to let go of some of this fear, let go of some of this penned in thinking. Let go of it and let it die. It's sort of been torturing you for a while now, and I feel like it's not serving you. It's not getting you there. You have this strength card to carry you through, and the death card really is an opportunity here to sort of drop everything and let it go. It's almost like, the universe is saying okay, we're going to carry you through this. You just have to be willing to let it go and make a different choice. You have to be willing to let it go and think differently, choose something better for you. And if you do that and you really let go and let it die off, the strength will carry you through and something new will be able to come into its space, right? But I think that will probably show up in October's Tarotoscope. But right now we need to get you through September, and getting through September is going to be about really looking at your thought patterns, looking at where it is you hold yourself in your life, where your belief system is at around what you can and cannot have, how much you do or do not lack. Letting go of some of those things and really trusting that you can bring forth, you have the strength and the ability within you to bring forth the things that you desire without having to have all of the sort of worry and stress that goes along with that. Now, the last card is what I call the potential outcomes card. This card sort of gives me a sort of insight into where the month will end out for you guys, barring that nothing major changes with the energy as it stands right now. But we do have free will and choice. So if this card is also sort of on the negative side or a card that we don't want to experience, we can take heart in the fact that we can make choices and changes in our lives now that will affect this outcome. So this is not set in stone by any means, but it is a guide or sort of like an idea of where things could potentially head. Interesting. So this is the Nine of Cups, which is fulfillment. Now, I get 2 hits on this card, like right out of the gate. For some of you, this is about falling into this death and allowing these things to be just shed, letting them go and really saying, okay, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I really want this, like, I want to bring this in. I want, like, this is maybe where that putting that foot down energy, getting decisive in that shuffle was about. It's like, no, I can't do this to myself anymore. I have to stop this way of thinking. I have to stop limiting myself. I have to stop living in lack. And from that, you bring about this fulfillment and this abundance, this emotional sort of, like not overwhelm, because it's actually a good sort of fulfillment, but it's like an emotional abundance. And from that, you start to feel from a better place. You start to feel from a place that's more positive and less fear-based, right? Now, that's one side of this card. But for some of you, I have a feeling, because I'm looking at all of these wine glasses, and they are definitely pulling my attention. And sometimes they look like a positive sort of celebratory thing. And for some of you, it may be. But for some of you... I'm worried that you might find yourself drinking your worries away by the end of the month. And I'm not laughing at that by any means, because I've had my fair share of those sort of moments. But I do want you to be mindful that those of you that hold on too long or too hard, you might find yourself in a place of feeling very lonely and might need to have a cocktail or two to like deal with the stuff that you are trying to avoid. This strength card and this death card are not playing. They are both major arcana. They are both outside influences. Whatever's going on for you Cancerians right now, it is like life lessons that like they want to come through. They want you to let go. They want you to rely on them. Be it your spirit guides, be it your own spirit, be it whatever it is outside of you that like you don't understand, that you're maybe fighting or fearing or not trusting. It's about learning to trust that this month of September and get yourself to this place of like emotional fulfillment and feeling at peace. There is a possibility of that, but you really have to be able to let go of the old ways. Let go of the ways that like that no longer serve you. Let go of the fear, let go of the lack, and really move into September and move through September from a place of abundance and fulfillment and feeling emotionally stable, happy, joyous. And I'm not saying that you don't feel that way now, but for some reason, it looks like with these cards, you guys are way too mentally focused on worry or what's not working, what could possibly happen. Maybe it's in an effort to achieve abundance, but you know what? You don't achieve abundance from a place of worry and fear. You have to achieve abundance from a place of openness and joy. And so I think that's your lesson in the month of September, is to really start to get clear on that and then start to let those sort of things die off so that you can bring in the strength and the abundance that you seek in the month of September. All right. So I hope that wasn't too much of a bummer. It's not necessarily a bad reading, guys. It feels to me like it's very transformative for you, the month of September. And it's going to require you to let go of some hardwired patterns, thought patterns, or fears or worries that you rely on that you think are keeping you safe, but they aren't actually. They're getting in the way of you achieving your goals and finding your happiness. If you do that, you will be able to find fulfillment and emotional abundance and happiness but you have to be willing to sort of face those fears and really let them go and be strong in that, like be strong in that, like sort of conviction in that, and really pursue that, like almost actively pursue that transformation. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't like stress out. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I can answer any questions. If you liked the reading, please subscribe, comment, share it with anybody that you think might benefit from it. And I look forward to see you guys for the mid-month. Let's see, maybe you guys swing the energy and change it. And who knows, you could be in this fulfillment card by mid-month and have a whole different rest of your September. Now knowing what you know from these cards. And also check out my pick a cards and other videos on my channel. I appreciate each and every watcher, and I love your support. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you soon. Take care.